draw would certainly help. And in a moment we'll nip off to Portugal to see if England's ball is a hot one. Michael and John Motson. And why don't we start with a look at the seedings and possible scenarios. England have been drawn in Pool 2 alongside Germany, Spain and Italy. Three nations worth avoiding, I would have thought, at early stages.
Very much so. I mean, it's a matter of who you want to play against and who you want to avoid. If you look at Pool 1, avoid the French at all costs and maybe want to play Sweden. Then you go to Pool 3, avoid the Dutch.
You'd want Denmark there, wouldn't you?
Very much so. No, you'd want Russia, and then you go to Pool 4. I think avoid the Swiss and maybe play against the Latvians. I think it's important to get off to a good start. In Euro 2000, England got off to a bad start against the Portuguese, and they're always in the back foot and never really recovered. Even though they got a good result against the Germans, they had to win the final game against Romania. And unfortunately lost.
I think of the 12 that we could meet, the three that you want to avoid is, as you've definitely mentioned, Portugal, France, Holland. They're the three that you hope England won't get. There's nothing in the fourth pool that really should frighten England, I don't think. I mean, I think Bulgaria, Switzerland, Greece and Latvia, you couldn't really complain which one of those you get. I don't think.
Being drawn in Pool 3 is quite tough for Denmark. But are you saying you hope they draw England? You don't mean that, do you?
We're always in Pool 3.
You've won it as well.
Won it from Pool 3.
We have, yeah. We're from Pool 5, actually. We came from the outside.
You were on holiday, weren't you?
We were, but I mean, the team here that everybody wants to be drawn with is Latvia. And Latvia is sort of the only team, when I'm looking at the list, that hasn't got, even though outside chance, but it hasn't got a chance of winning this. I look at these teams and I see how they've done in qualification. Okay. They're all very good. And it's just going to be difficult, whatever.
Definitely avoid the French. I mean, the French, even though they're a bad World Cup, you know, if you look at the players and the quality of the players they've got, you know, you've got Thuram, Zidane, Vieira, Henry. You didn't need to say any more.
You've convinced me. Well, we'll talk after the draw, because it's a lot easier when you know actually who you've got rather than speculation about who you might get. But time now to go to Lisbon for the draw for Euro 2004. They're waiting for us, Barry Davis.
Thank you, gentlemen. And please stay with us a little while longer. Indeed, it is the football which brings us from all corners of the world. And if the highlights in the next video of the qualifying matches
are anything to do is Pedro Mendonça Pinto, one of the two presenters here.
Já falta muito tempo para os 16.
Alongside him, Fatimir Compos Pereira, who is a news broadcaster in Portugal. Pedro Pinto actually works for CNN, the American network. Audience of invited guests will now be invited to look at how their teams made it to the final. A video representation of the 16 finalists. Coming in alphabetical order, Bulgaria, qualifying for only the second time in their history. Croatia finished as runners-up to Bulgaria in Group 8, qualified through the playoffs. Czech Republic, whom many fancy, came through in Group 3 and got the better of Holland. The Danes are back, again under Morten Olsen as their coach, as he was in the World Cup. Yes, this is us, and that's him with the cross, and that's him with the goal. France, the holders. Germany managed just a point and a goal last time in 2000. And he's still there too, Mr. Khan. Greece, who made life difficult for England in the World Cup qualifiers. Italy, who turned it on against Wales, sadly for Mark Hughes and his team. Although the Welsh won, of course, at the Millennium Stadium. Latvia, the outsiders of the piece, but not everybody was surprised they beat Turkey in the playoff that was. The Dutch, as ever, did it the hard way, but finished with some style against Scotland with this man, Ruud van Nistelrooy. The hosts, Portugal, with their Brazilian manager who won the World Cup, Scolari. Russia, just the one goal, decisive. against the Welsh, and delighting Yatsev, Spain, who also had to go into the playoffs. You have the ability. Maybe it's their turn, you never know. The Swedes. Is Sven-Göran Eriksson going to draw his own country? Switzerland top the group ahead of Russia. And some of the stars we can look forward to seeing. So how many of those did you spot? There's the trophy, just been returned by Laurent Blanc on behalf of the French Federation.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the draw begins. E a ansiedade aumenta, Fátima.
E de que maneira, Pedro? Mas antes de irmos diretamente ao sorteio final, queremos aqui registar que esta será a última vez que o diretor executivo da UEFA, o Sr. Gary Lineker, conduzirá a cerimónia de sorteio de um campeonato europeu de futebol. Pelos anos e pelo trabalho dedicados ao futebol europeu, ele merece bem a nossa homenagem.
Gerhard Eigner, Chief Executive of UEFA, who will be along in a moment to present the draw. And you'll notice Sven-Göran Eriksson among all the coaches here.
Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Gerhard Eigner, will lead us through the final draw ceremony of a European Championship before retiring at the end of this year. For all the years of dedication and for all his work in the name of European football, we would like to honor him. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm round of applause for Mr. Gerhard Eigner. Mr. Eigner will now explain the draw procedure.
Gerhard Eigner, rather curious that both the chief executive officers of FIFA and UEFA leaving more or less at the same time, but this man's going of his own volition, whereas then Ruffinen was kicked out by FIFA President Blatter.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, let's start with the brief explanation of the draw procedure. The teams have been divided in 4 pots based on the coefficient that they have gained in the qualifying matches for the World Cup 2002 and for Euro 2004. They will be drawn into groups A, B, C, and D.
No change there then.
Portugal, as the hosts, are already placed in first position in Group A. We will start by drawing teams from pot 4. And the first team drawn from the pot, let's say Greece, is automatically allocated to Group A. We would then draw its position within that group. For example, A2. So, in this example, Greece would occupy the second position in Group A. We would then draw the next team, also from pot 4, and let's say it is Latvia. Latvia would automatically go into Group B. And then we would draw the position within the group, for example, B4, and that means that Latvia would occupy the 4th position in Group B. We would continue to do so until all the teams from pot 4 have been drawn, and then we would draw the teams from pot 3 and then from pot 2. The teams drawn from pots 2 and 3 and 4 could occupy 2nd, 3rd and 4th position within the group. The teams from pot 1, however, will always be placed in first position in the group. So far as to the description of the draw procedure. I would like to mention at this time that in the interest of safety and security and in cooperation with the local authorities, UEFA will decide immediately after the draw if there is a need to swap the venues hosting the matches. Therefore, we will confirm the match fixtures outside the draw hall after the end of the draw.
That, of course, is a reference to any problems
now
off
it gives
the
me great
field
pleasure
that
to
might
invite
occur.
some good friends here on stage to assist in the draw and to assist me with drawing the balls with the teams. Please welcome the football icon of Portugal, Euro.
Huge applause for a man who came to the attention of England in 1966, where it said that he introduced football to many ladies, and
I'd also like to welcome a rising star of Portuguese football, playing for Newcastle United, Hugo Viana.
He's a man who's become well known on Tyneside, Hugo Viana.
Eusebio and Hugo Viana both are ambassadors for Euro 2004. And let me also welcome back on stage the captain of the winning team of France of Euro 2000, Laurent Blanc.
Laurent Blanc, who brought back the trophy, and who scored the first golden goal of a World Cup.
Last but not
finals.
least, I would like to invite my successor as Chief Executive of UEFA, Lars Christer Olsen.
Former Chief Executive Officer of the Swedish Football Association, so the President and the CEO both come from the same country, or will do from January in
Lars Christer Olsen will be in
UEFA.
charge of drawing the positions of the teams in their group, and he will be assisted by Laurent Blanc and by Hugo Viana. Now I think we're all set, and we can start, and we start with pot 4. So, Eusebio, may I ask you to draw the first ball from pot 4?
So this is Bulgaria, Switzerland, Greece and Latvia in this pot. Latvia, the newcomers, the others in their second European Championship. And first out is Greece.
Greece.
Won Group 6. Key to their success was winning in Spain, but
for Greece,
we know they're in Group A, but whether they will be the opening match against the hosts or not will now be decided. Yes, it is A2. They will provide the opening match
2.
Saturday, June the 12th at the Estadio das Antes, Dragon New Stadium, 5 o'clock on the afternoon of Saturday, June the 12th.
To draw the second team, please, Eusebio.
So now for Group B. Seeded team here is not known, as he says.
Switzerland.
That's decided at the end of the day. The other 3 seeded teams from the top, France, Sweden, or
and the
Czech
position
Republic.
of Switzerland in Group B.
That's Switzerland. Thank you.
And the position will be B3.
Third position for Switzerland in Group B.
Switzerland will open.
Next team, and this team is going to be in Group C.
Evening match on Sunday the 13th.
Bulgaria.
So Bulgaria
And
go
let's
to
find
Group
out the position
C.
in Group C for Bulgaria.
Yeah, it is important. Yeah.
Who will be the first opponents for the new boys? Never met England, incidentally, and they haven't met
position will
several
be
other
number
countries
2.
too.
Second
So they
position
take-
for Bulgaria. The last team from
C2.
spot number 4. We know, of course, who that
So
is.
they will start in Lisbon. And now Latvia.
It is Latvia. And we need a position for Latvia in Group D.
Thank you.
Latvia who beat Turkey
So
in the
the
playoff.
position for Latvia will be number 2.
They will
Second
occupy
position.
D2. So they will
we come to the
open
pot
in
number
Porto.
3. First team, please, Eusebio.
So now in pot 3, Holland, Croatia, Russia and
this team
Denmark.
goes again in Group A.
Group A that already has Portugal and Greece.
It's Russia.
And Russia go there. Georgi Yatsev will take
Russia
his team.
In Group A, but we still have
And,
to define the position, so we have to draw.
They're going to be
one
either
more.
A3 or 4, and they will meet. Whether they're A3 or 4, they'll be starting in the Algarve, evening kickoff on the opening day of
The position
the
will
tournament.
be number 4.
Number 4.
There is Georgi Yatsev,
Next team,
yet to be beaten since he took over only in August.
which will go into the Group B,
Now in Group B,
is Croatia.
Croatia into Group B.
And we have to define the position. Group
They
B.
had to come through in the playoff.
Thank you. Position is number 4.
Fourth position. We come to Group C. Next
So
team
they'll
from
open
pot
in
C.
Latvia. 8 cities, 10 different stadia, 2 in Lisbon and Porto.
It's
And
Denmark. Denmark joining Bulgaria. We still find out which position.
Denmark and Bulgaria in Group C so far. It's
going
Morten
quite well
Olsen, their coach we were looking at.
Yeah. The position for Denmark will be number 3.
Third position. And we have one ball left, and this is a team which will be allocated to Group D.
And this is Holland.
And it's the Netherlands.
Or the Netherlands, if you prefer.
Netherlands together with Latvia. We still have to have the position for the Netherlands in Group D.
And the Netherlands will have position number 4.
Fourth position.
Dick Advocaat,
May I ask you to
their coach.
move over to pot number 2?
So now,
Exciting.
draw going very
Draw the
quickly, and
first
he's right
team,
there.
And that will
The
be
drama
going
is building up.
into Group A.
Italy, Spain, England and
will already
Germany
complete
in this
Group A.
group. This is for Group A. Portugal, Greece, Russia and it's Spain, I think. Yes, it's Spain. So Portugal drawing Spain. Well,
We
that's
check
for
whether
the first
the position
reaction.
for Spain is the correct one in Group A.
Well, it must be that they're going to open against Russia.
We found a ball.
They
This
played
should
in
just be a
Euro
verification of
84. Portugal and Spain produced a 1-1 draw.
I think we were right. It was position number 3.
A3.
So
So
move
we
on
know
to
the
Group
2
B.
opening matches,
Next team
Portugal
from the
against
second
Greece, Spain against Russia. Italy, England, Germany. still in the pot. Group B will be Switzerland, Croatia. Wouldn't mind coming here. This is not a bad draw for England. Switzerland and Croatia.
And we verify also the position for England in Group B.
England have had a recent success.
Position number 2.
August.
Position 2.
So England
the next team from
in the number 2 position, so they will meet the seeded side
Group C
at the beginning. B2, they will open in the venue where the final will be played in Lisbon, Estadio da Luz. And that match will be on Sunday the 13th
and here again
at
we
19:45 in the evening, 7:45 in the evening.
Yes.
But will they be joined by Sweden, France or the Czech Republic? That's what has to be decided. And well, let's complete this
position number
2 pot.
Number 4 for Italy in Group C.
Italy have Bulgaria and Denmark. It seems to be going quite well so far for the leading fancies.
Will go and join Latvia and the Netherlands in Group D. And it is Germany.
And Germany will play Holland. Renewing of old rivalries. Germany against Holland.
So now
we have this position.
We come to the last pot. 3 teams left. We have already Portugal.
So now to decide
in position 1 in Group A. So this is
who will complete the England
on place
group.
number 1 in Group B.
France, Sweden or the Czech Republic. I'm sure the Swedish coach of England will be hoping for his own country, but it's not. It's France, and he didn't want France. That makes life difficult for England. They will open. Cracking match to have. They will open against the holders of the title.
Second last team
and,
to go.
He's got a bit to ponder there. The first match is arguably the most difficult that any country could be asked to play.
Sweden.
Well, he missed it by 1, getting his own country. Sweden will be in C. Sweden, Bulgaria, Denmark, Italy. That looks pretty promising, it has to be said, for Italy.
To join Latvia, Germany,
the Danes
and the Netherlands in Group D.
Cause a surprise.
And that is the Czech Republic.
And Group D is also looking a pretty tough group. Czech Republic and Germany and Netherlands all there. Only 2, of course,
into their group.
go through. So England play France. Last time they met was 1-1 in 2000.
In Group A we have Portugal, Greece,
But
Spain,
they've been difficult
Russia.
opponents for us.
In Group B, France,
This
England,
is a recap
Switzerland,
on
Croatia.
the draw. France,
in Group C, Sweden, Bulgaria,
England.
Denmark and Italy. And in Group D,
what a match.
the Czech
And
Republic,
Group D,
Latvia, Germany,
well,
and the
Latvia
Netherlands.
making their debut in the
I think we
European
can look
Championship
forward to
surely couldn't have been
very
given a
exciting
more difficult
Euro
group than that.
2004
Czech Republic,
from
Germany and
June 12th
the Netherlands.
4th July next year.
But England,
It remains for me to
on their
thank
attempt
my
to get
colleagues for
to the final,
assistance
will open
in the
at
draw,
the final stadium, and
I
certainly
all the teams
the best match
of luck.
on paper of
Thank
that
you very
group.
much.
Switzerland and Croatia. England would fancy their chances against France. You never know. Opening matches can often produce draws. So a great deal to be pondered and discussed at great length, I'm sure. 194 days to go, and we hope to hear from this man as to what he thinks of the fact that he's got France, Switzerland and Croatia in his group.
Well, it looked good for a very long time during that draw. Then up pops the one we all wanted to avoid. England have got France in their group, and that'll be tough.
Obviously tough because the French are a great side, but I think that Sven-Göran Eriksson will be relatively happy with that draw. I think that opening game is going to be incredibly tough, but as Barry quite rightly said, the opening game sometimes, you know, you're feeling each other. It ends up the draw. If England can get a draw in that match, they can go into the next 2 fixtures with renewed confidence. And basically, if they don't get through in that group, then they're not going to.
Yeah, and I mean, stipulated 2 teams qualify. I mean, that's...
Well, yes, and the other two we've got to play. We've had a first-hand account of Croatia. We beat them in a friendly at Ipswich in August, didn't we?
Yep.
3-1. And Switzerland, who, of course, were our first opponents in Euro 96. The 1-1 draw at Wembley. So I don't think either of the other 2 games are easy, by the way.
No, they're not easy. Well, but they're no easy games.
No, of course it's
but
not.
they're easier games.
I think it's a great drawing. Because they've got to play France in the first game, and after that it becomes tactical. So you can play on your results then. It would have been worse if they had to play France in the last game. But you know exactly after the first game how you stand. And I have to say, England must beat Switzerland and Croatia if they are to win the tournament.
I mean, the other thing as well, it's a nice big opening match, stadium alight, something for us all to look forward to.
Well, and basically you can gauge how good you are as well. I mean, you're going in against the best team in the world. All right, they didn't win the last World Cup, but you know, you would say that if you're looking at the top teams in the world, you go Brazil and France, because we mentioned at the top of the programme the quality of players they've got. And as I say, it's a good gauge that you go into this match, and it's a big match, opening game for them. But England have got quality players as well, and if these quality players can play to the potential, how good they are, then England will have a chance.
Last time we played France, John, you'll remember it, 2000.
Well, I was going to say Little Omen there. The last time we played them in the opening match of a tournament, 1982 World Cup in Bilbao, England 3, France 1.
Correct.
And the omen being that we didn't go on to win.
The omen being that you beat them.
Is that a good or a bad omen, John?
Just about the first game.
It's an omen.
Hey?
And a very early goal for Oms.
Thank you very much. 27 seconds, absolutely.
Thought you know that.
Yeah, go on.
There was a throw-in as well. Who took the throw-in?
Oh, I think it was Steve Coppell.
More recently, there was a 1-0.
Terry Butcher.
More recently, there was a 1-0 draw in Paris. Of course, it was just friendly. I think Petit scored the first goal in that game, and we can see it. There you go.
All right, John, give us your commentary.
And
didn't Owen score?
Owen gets the equaliser. That's a great finish. Fabulous finish.
He's not manager anymore, but times change very quickly in football.
Well, but I mean,
but the French are very strong.
Well,
13 games.
You go back 13 games undefeated. You go back to Euro 2000, where they were unbelievably good, the French, and as I say, you always look at the lineup, the team lineup, the quality of the players they've got, and you go, well, basically that's awesome. You've got Henry at the minute, who is, the track says, the best player in the world. Well, you'd have to agree with that. I mean, he's like absolutely flying.
You can go right through that.
You can go right.
I mean,
they've got quality. They've got
for starters. Zidane and Vieira. How good's that?
Well, exactly. And then you've got Trezeguet and Henry.
Two going through from the group. Yeah. So, I mean, looking at that group, you shouldn't really be too scared.
No, but we're just talking about the French.
No,
they're quite good at
I think the French are very good, but we've also seen them in the recent World Cup, that it is a team that you can win and you can keep them away from scoring. And I don't know what went wrong with the France in the World Cup, if they had internal problems in the squad or whatever, but it is possible to play these great world-class players, and it's still possible to get results. So I actually think of all the groups, England's got the best group.
That's right. I mean, when the draw is made, you look at the fixtures that you've got and you say, are you happy? Are you unhappy? You look at that draw there and you say, well, you're happy. You've got to be happy with that draw. And you know, as Peter quite rightly says, you play the French first, you get a result there, you go into the next matches with some sort of confidence.
So there's the fixtures as and the schedule as it appears there. England do, of course, play France in that first one on the 13th of June. All evening kickoffs as well. Then we play the Swiss on the 17th. Then it's England-Croatia on the 21st of June. It's a few months away, but it gets the old mouth watering.
Didn't France play Croatia in the World Cup semi-final in '98?
Indeed, with the,
is that an omen?
Well, look, I'm just trying to point out, it was quite a big game at the time. They only just beat them 2-1,
World Cup semi-finals.
Well, no, but I mean, it was a big game for Croatia. It was the first time they'd got that far. And they put up a very good performance. I mean, they're not to be underestimated, Croatia.
No, what they did have at the time,
I think
they have a
their old team. Yeah, I know.
World-class players, and what they have now is a young team coming through.
A very good young team.
A very good young team, but it's still, I mean, you look at the England team, and the players that you have at the moment have been together for quite a while, under the same manager. There's a lot of stability. Apart from the last two games, it has been stable all the way through. And I mean,
but I take John's point. John, you're right. You're right. I mean, when you say England will be happy with a draw, it doesn't mean it necessarily follow that they're going to ease their way through. It's going to be difficult. You know, and Switzerland, Croatia, we saw the Swiss play against the Republic of Ireland, for example, and they've got some technically very, very good players. They've got a bit of pace about them. Nobody says it's going to be easy, but they're easier games than you might have got if you'd drawn other teams.
Yeah, okay. Well, the French, as we said, their current form is fabulous at the moment, and just a couple of weeks ago they won in Germany by 3-0. We've also got pictures of that. And first goal scorer, I think we all know, he's not a bad player, Thierry Henry.
Break quickly, back post, and it's a header as well.
Very rare header.
A header from about 4 yards out.
With the cross.
Yeah, great cross, great ball in.
Another decent player that they've got.
Yeah, I mean, he's played up to him here, Henry, and he turns on a sixpence, comes in inside left position, just squares, and it's in the back of the net. It's so easy. And then I think Zidane makes the third for Trezeguet. Oh, fantastic play. And what you've got is
that's in Germany, so, but the Germans aren't this strong, are they?
Most German team in history.
What I said before, you've got to be afraid of these guys.
But watching that, you would be. But I think again, when you're going into a competition this magnitude, and you have got as many quality players as England have got, you know, they've got 5 or 6 very, very good players, then you've got to go in with some sort of confidence. Eriksen's record in competitive matches is absolutely phenomenal. They can go in there with, I say, renewed confidence, and if they get off to a good start, then they will get to the last 16.
Also, he's got no problem with his research here, has he? We've just played Croatia, we all know about France, and he'll get all the information he needs about Switzerland from the 2 games against the Republic of Ireland. So everybody will know what we're up against. We're not playing anybody that we haven't sort of seen before.
You're filling him with confidence, Mark.
Thank you.
Already, at this early stage.
And what about the Danes then? What do you think about the Danes?
Yeah, come on, what about that group?
I don't think it could have gone any worse than...
Denmark have got Sweden, Italy and Bulgaria.
We were on Football Focus yesterday, we were doing best and worst scenarios, and in the England group we had Sweden as best scenarios. But for Denmark to play Sweden, it's a completely different matter.
Local derby.
It is, and we're going to play them in the last game, which...
Local derby in Portugal.
Yes, we're going to play them in the last game, and that's very difficult. We are opening up against Italy, and I just think that, you know, we've had a very bad draw, but it's not impossible. I mean, we said at the top of the programme, everybody's got a chance to win, apart from Latvia.
When you won,
Joe most certainly hasn't got a chance.
When you won in '92, who did you play?
We played England, Sweden,
France,
Holland. That was difficult, wasn't it?
I didn't beat everybody that mattered, didn't you?
Well, everybody that matters was in that tournament.
I'm just going to interrupt you just for a second, drag it back to France, because we can get a view from Thierry Henry.
To qualify is one thing, and to be there is another thing. And confident, you're always kind of confident, which is a bit normal, but we won't be overconfident. And I think, you know, it's when you look at the team who are over there, you know, how can you tell which one is going to win? Portugal is going to play at home. You know, you have Czech Republic or incredible record right now. England, Italy, Germany. You don't know. I don't know if you remember the Euro 2000. All the games were so tight. All the games. You know, it could have been like we won it like extra time. We won on a penalty in extra time against Portugal. Holland and Italy, penalty shootouts. You know, it's how can you tell? It's so difficult. So obviously you need to be confident, because if you're not confident, you might as well stay home. But it's going to be, I think, a difficult one.
The good news is, of course, that French notorious slow starters, as you just pointed out.
What about the World Cup? Senegal beat them in the first game, didn't they?
So they did indeed.
Everybody beat them in the World Cup.
Well, not quite. It was a 1 draw, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
They said that they were tired, weren't they? The French players were tired, long, hard seasons. I think that the English are kind of just better to being tired than probably the French.
Right, we can hear from Sven-Göran Eriksson. He's with Garth Crooks.
Well, Sven, you have the teams in front of you. You saw the draw like the rest of us. What do you make of it?
Well, I think Group A, B and C are very similar. Not easy, of course. The most difficult group, I think it's Group D, with Holland, Germany and Czech Republic. I think that's a very, very tough group. We, of course, the first game against France, big game on Stadio da Luz in Lisbon. It shall be very, very nice and difficult, of course, but beautiful.
Because we play our football in the Premiership, you know all about the top French players. As French as your first game, is that a game that you would have wanted to have probably the toughest team in the competition, your first game?
Well, I think France is one of the big favourites to win the tournament, and you always hope to meet France in the final, of course. But no, it's the first game, and very tough one, and but very interesting, beautiful. I mean, we play in the biggest stadium in Portugal, and very good.
Having seen your group now, would you expect to go through?
Well, of course, we hope so. I hope so, but you never know. Switzerland, Croatia, they're doing very well, and but in Euro you can't meet any easy teams. So I accept this and look forward to it very much.
With the exception of France, people would probably think that you would be overall happy with the way the draw has worked out.
Well, I think it's okay. France, of course, are a difficult one, very difficult one. But who knows? In football, I think we can beat France if we play football as we can do.
Now, all attentions will go to the championships. But what I do have to ask you is about the offer that the FA have made to you, an extension of your contract. Is that something that you will sign in the immediate future?
Well, we have just started to discuss it, and of course I'm very honored, flattered to have the possibility to go on until 2008. But I think we might discuss it further tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, or in a couple of months, who knows. I think the most important thing now is to prepare for the Euro 2004.
There is a view, though, Sven, that the FA have committed themselves to you. Will you commit yourself to the Football Association? I think that's what the English fans want to know.
Well, commitment until 2008 is a big one, and very important one. I'm very honored, as I said, and, but we have time to discuss that. It's not that important, and the only thing I regret a little bit is that it came out publicly. I think it shouldn't have done that, but here we are. That's football.
Will this be resolved before the competition starts 2004?
Yeah, I think so, of course.
Good luck. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
He's a man with a lot of forehead, and there's plenty inside it as well. He was always going to evade that question, wasn't he, really?
Yeah, avoid at all costs. I mean, it's unbelievable speculation. I mean, even at the start of the season about him going to Chelsea, and there's still a lot of speculation about him going to Chelsea, but I think the FA have been cute, they've been clever, because they've offered him the contract, 4-year deal. Will he sign it before the European Championships? Well, it's a very, very interesting question, and it would be in the negative, I would have thought.
I can understand he's annoyed with that being brought to the public.
It was a tactical
he's doing the draw now. He's going to put his mind to finding the players that's going to represent England, and I mean he wants, obviously he wants to go and see every football match as possible. But every time he turns up, he's going to be faced with that question, and that's going to be disruptive to his preparations. And you know, he's not a man to become angry, but I could see there there have been
a few things of late with the FA that have not pleased Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Well, yes, Joe Melling in the Mail on Sunday this morning, who I think is one of the journalists more close to it than most, is still firmly convinced, back page headline, that he's going to go to Chelsea at the end of the season, come what may. Yeah, so that's not going to go away, that particular rumour, I don't think.
And do you think the FA have deliberately done this because they've heard that route to flush him out?
Well, Gary, he did make a commitment there.
Certainty.
He did say that was going to be resolved before, so...
Do you think it'll be there after 2004?
I wouldn't bet on it at the moment. But I tell you what I do think. Can we just go back to this for a minute?
Oh, no, we've got plenty of minutes.
Okay. Here's one for you. Of all the nations in that draw, the ones that will be the happiest today of the 16 is Italy, in my view.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, Peter.
Yeah, well, I think
that's a great group for the Italians.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think Denmark and Sweden both won the qualification groups. They have been strong in qualification, but it is a different matter when they get there, and the rivalry between Denmark and Sweden, it is going to benefit Italy.
Italians.
So, yeah, I think Italy would be quite happy. I agree with Sven that Group D is an absolute horror group, isn't it?
Everybody seems to be happy with the draw.
And these are sides that England can't meet until at least the semi-finals, because the Group C and D will play in the second stage. So.
Right, so we could meet Italy in the semi. The thing about Group D that Sven said there, I mean, I take what you're saying.
I don't think that's the strongest.
Well, I don't think it's the strongest. Hold on, disregard Latvia, who we all agree probably the weakest of the 16, there for the first time. The history between not just Germany and Holland,
Germany,
the Czech Republic who played Germany in the final in Euro 96 and have beaten Holland in the qualifiers for this tournament. There's going to be some...
I'm going to say it's the worst German side in history at the minute.
That's when you said the World Cup as well.
I said that when England beat them 5-1, and I watched them play twice against Scotland. They're hopeless.
I remember when we sat here.
That means they'll probably go and win.
You said that as well.
They'll probably win 2004, but I wouldn't say that's a strong group in the slightest.
No, but they've got the ability to play these tournaments. They are clever players.
I've got to interrupt you because we've got someone even more worth listening to than yourself, if that's possible. Patrick Vieira, he's live in Portugal.
Patrick, it's a very tough opening match for the holders.
Yeah, it's really tough, really difficult game to start with, and I think England is one of the big nations in Europe, so it's going to be a difficult game to start with for us.
When it came out of the pot, what was your immediate reaction? You pleased or you a little bit worried?
Of course, we are pleased and worried in the same time, because it's never easy to start to play against a big team like England. But in the same time, I think it's going to be an open game. And when you see the other two teams in the group, you can say that it's going to be an open group and anybody can beat anybody. So every game will be difficult for us.
Opening games tend to end in draws quite often, don't they?
Yeah.
You settle for that?
No, but I think both teams will want to start with a win. And we know how important is the first game, because it's only 3 games, and the first 3 points will be really important.
Do you think Monsieur Santini will be happy?
I don't know if Mr. Eriksson will be happy with the draw, but we are quite confident about ourselves, and even if we know that it will be a difficult game, we will approach a game the same way that we'll play against the two teams.
Are you happier to be in that Group B rather than in Group D with the Dutch and the Germans, etc.?
I think it will be better to be in the Group B than to be in the last group, because the Group D with German and
Czech Republic and Latvia, Holland.
Holland is quite a difficult group, because we know that doesn't matter what's going to happen, because one of the big nations will come out. So I think it will be better to be in the Group B.
Confident in the whole thing?
Confident, yeah, we are quite confident, but we know that in football confidence is one thing, and to perform on the day is something else. But
as we saw in the World Cup, because I have to say I still can't understand what happened there.
Yeah, but you know, you're making a mistake and you learn from your mistake, and I can tell you that we will learn a lot from the last World Cup, and from the games we play recently, we performed really well. In the last game we played against Germany, away from home, we performed really well. So we will see what's going to happen, but it's going to be a really exciting tournament.
Well, everybody says they learn from their mistakes, but quite often it doesn't quite work out like that, does it?
Yeah, but we just have to show it. So we're quite confident that we're going to show how good we are.
Well, I hope you'll be fit for the match, and may the better team win, as long as it's England.
We will see what's going to happen, but it's going to be really interesting, and I think the English player will go see forward, because they will be really exciting to play against France, as we are really exciting to play against them.
Thanks very much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Brave words from Barry Davis. We all know he's a very fiery player. Patrick could have topped him with that one, couldn't he?
Another bad French player. But it's interesting, the interviews with Henry and Vieira there, they don't dismiss England. I mean, they've shown England a lot of respect. And I mean,
well, they play here.
Yeah, no, but I mean, but it speaks volumes for the English side that you know, most of Europe don't want to play England.
No, they don't.
They want to avoid England as well.
What the draw's also done, it's an aside here, it's left the FA free to play the 2 friendlies that they've arranged in the spring. I mean, Portugal in February and Sweden in March. England can now play those games. If they'd been drawn in the same group, they'd have had to rethink the friendly programme. So Sven's build-up is somewhat protected by the way the teams have come out.
We don't know too much probably yet about Switzerland, but we did of course play them in the opening game in Euro 96.
They needed a draw.
I think it was Stuart Pearce who gave it away, wasn't it? Both, so.
You think it's imperative to get off to a good start in this competition?
It helps.
Yeah, but is it imperative? I mean, they played against Portugal the last time, got off to a bad start, always in the back foot, never really recovered from that result.
Well, in the 1988 European Championships in Germany, Holland lost their opening game to what was then the USSR or the Soviet Union, and then they came back and beat them in the final.
One thing, though,
you don't have to win your first game or even draw.
Well, the one thing with the start is that you always look, if you can get 3 points in the first game, that means that in theory you only need to get another point to go through.
It generally, though, comes down to the last game, and England have got Croatia in the last game. We've played them recently, and we can see a bit of that as well.
Owen's got his arm up far side of the box coming in now, Michael Owen. Oh, appeals for handball, penalty. So Beckham takes over the penalty duty again. Oh, and Koza got hands to that, but Beckham has scored for England. Beckham's cross. Owen coming in. Goal for England, Michael Owen. Olic. Oh, there's a real chance there, and in the end, Mornar puts it in. This is Dyer. Now Beattie. Oh, and he set that up brilliantly for Frank Lampard. What a way to score your first England goal.
We don't usually win friendlies, so it was quite a good performance.
One of the strikers for Croatia, Dersos, was the star of the Champions League the other week, wasn't he? He got all those goals for Monaco against Deportivo. So as Peter says, some of their younger players now have replaced the Šukers and the Prosinečkis and the people who've gone in from the previous generation, Boban and so on, Bopsic and all those.
No,
I think it's not a bad thing to have played Croatia in that game, because as I remember the first half, David James was up, so he was man of the match, wasn't he? He had some fantastic saves, and they did create a lot of chances and showed England that they
can play.
I think that's not bad. When you go on the pitch against Croatia, they will think about that, and the concentration.
They're very good going one way, going forward defensively, very, very
good. Now, should England go through, they will play in the quarter-finals aside from Group A, which we can see now. There's Portugal, the host nation, of course, Spain, pretty strong, Russia and Greece. So it'll be quite a tasty quarter-final, you'd have thought. Probably Portugal or Spain.
Portugal or Spain, you would have thought so.
Don't discard Greece. Greece has played really well in qualification, and they could come up with a surprise. And we've seen Russia against Wales. I mean, they can play football, a bit indecisive.
Well, as Gary said, we played Portugal in the opening game in the last Euro, didn't we? In 2000, 2-0 up, lost 3-2, and we played Spain in Euro 96 and won on penalties.
Things have moved on, you know.
Things have moved on.
I think England is a far better team than they were 4 years ago. They're more reliable in their results.
No doubt about that.
They're more consistency, the more stability. The players are, in my opinion, a lot better. And can England put the best 11 out? They'll give anybody a match and can win it against anybody. And if they can play the best 11, they are one of the favourites in my book.
We've got the betting's coming up already, look. France favourites 7-2, and England, that's not bad value, 7-1, would you? I know you don't.
I ain't having a bet on them.
Germany, worst team in the history of football, 14-1.
That tells its own story.
What about Denmark, worth a dabble?
I think they're worth a few bob,
40-1.
40-1.
Latvia, 150-1.
Another good thing about, the one good thing about having the French in your group is that, am I right in saying that? Am I right in saying they can't make them to the final?
Well, yeah.
Can
semi-final?
Can they make them in the semi-finals? England, France.
Yes.
Can they?
Yeah, because
they avoid them in the quarters.
No, I would have thought so. Can they? I don't know actually.
Well, it's a good question. I was asking more.
I think in the semis you can play the teams that you can't play in the quarters, so to speak. The two groups are reversed, aren't they? But I mean,
gents, we've just about run out of time, so thanks very much for coming in this morning. That is just about it from us, but coming up shortly, more reaction to the draw in Sunday Grandstand, as well as snooker. That's BBC 2 120, and we will, of course, have live coverage of Euro 2004. It all starts on June the 12th, and for England, it will start with France. Of course, the last time we played them in a major championship, we beat them easily, but that was rugby. Goodbye.